Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ruby, this is Ruby Red, and today, once again, I am letting one of my friends curate a little vlog for me and for you. It's for us, really. For this video, I asked my friend Bailey from Is Bailey Reading to curate this vlog for me. I have really loved doing this series. I've had so much fun, I've read some good books, and overall, I think it's just like such a good little time. So I have asked Bailey to please select for me a book, an activity, and something to eat or drink. I sort of expanded the parameters a little bit this time. So I've got the video. Let's take a look together and find out what we're doing.
Hello Ruby, it is me, Bailey, and I am so excited to be here today to curate your vlog. This was a very intimidating task for me. It has taken me some time to get this clip to you, and that's because I was throwing a lot of options around. So to first get in to the book that I want you to read, you may have been able to predict this, or you won't be surprised that I'm choosing this because I have talked about it so much and recommended it so much, but I don't think that anybody has read it. And while I did throw around a bunch of fantasies I would have loved to have made you read, I landed on this instead because I really would like your thoughts and opinions on the book. And so I am choosing to have you read Equal Partners by Kate Mangino. This is a nonfiction that I got an ARC of last year, and I read it and loved it. I thought it was a great example of balancing partnerships in the home, and I thought it was very inclusive, and so I would love your take on this book as well. I'm hoping it's something you enjoy. And so in that vein, the activity I'm choosing for you to do, I would actually love to also include Connor. I'm hoping they are up for it. I'm hoping they are in the mood for some Connor's Corner a little bit here. And this is kind of a vague activity, but basically I want you to just go out and have a date night and do something that you haven't done together before, whether this is going to a place you've never been, a park, a beach, a place, whatever, or if you're gonna go participate and do an activity you've never done. I would love for the two of you to go have a date night, spend some time together, and then for you to consume. I know that you recently acquired a SodaStream, so I wanted to find a SodaStream recipe, and we are also going into spring here, so I wanted something a little fruity, a little fun. So I was looking through recipes, and here's what I found. It is a raspberry mint mojito that you can make using your SodaStream. I will send you this link, of course, and that's it. Those are the things that I want you to do for this vlog. I can't wait to watch and see and experience the vlog for myself. Thank you again so much for asking me to do this, and I'm finally getting these recommendations to you.
Okay, that is amazing. Once Bailey started saying, oh, this is something I've talked about a lot and I've really liked and nobody else has read it, I was like, you know, there is that one book that like I have said I wanted to read a lot of times, and I meant it. I do want to read that book, so I'm really excited to read it. And also Bailey had said that she is sending it to me, and I was like, whoa. You don't have to send me the book. I'll find it somewhere. And I think she just wasn't sure that I would be able to find it easily, which makes sense because I feel like this is not like I don't think my library has this book. But yeah, it was really highly recommended by her when she first read that ARC, so I'm excited to get to it. I know Connor's gonna have a lot of fun doing our fun little whatever we do. I think a vague activity for this sort of scenario works very well, and we can sort of just pick whatever we're in the mood for. I do have a couple of ideas, but yeah, that's really fun, and the drink sounds really fun too, so hooray. Yeah, I do have a SodaStream. I do love that thing. Okay, this is gonna be a great vlog. I guess I do have to wait for the book to show up, but when it does, it's on. All right, I have started this book. I don't have the dust jacket, but this is Equal Partners. Bailey sent it to me and I've been reading it. I'll be honest, I have no idea where I left off in this video. Did I even leave off anywhere? I started reading this book about a month ago, over a month ago actually, and I was enjoying it, but I was not vlogging, and it's kind of intended to be a vlog. So I was reading it and enjoying it and thinking about it. I thankfully was also making notes about it, so I can still talk to you about it. But because I wasn't filming and I wasn't feeling capable of filming at the time, I sort of just put this book down to wait until I could talk to you about it. So I read the first part of this book. There are 3 parts. So the first part is acknowledging inequality. The second part, then I think it's going to show what equality can look like. And then the third part is like how to make changes in your own life. So I am going to try to talk about this book. I am going to be consulting my notes. So I apologize if I continuously glance down, but I want to get everything that I thought about from me to you. So the book is about how gender equality is not happening in households of America. Certainly a lot of progress has been made in the last couple of decades, but it's not as much as we like to believe, I guess. The studies being cited in this book show that the physical household labor split in like average different sex couples in America is 65-35, which is not 50-50. And later we kind of explore how that statistic doesn't get into any of the non-physical household work that has to happen. An example is like not just getting the dog to the groomer, but just knowing that the dog has to go to the groomer, remembering to call, schedule, and then even if your partner takes the dog to the groomer, you still had to do a bunch of tasks and a bunch of thinking about it before the whole thing actually happened. So that's just something to think about. The book is about partnerships, and I think she had a pretty good intro about how throughout the book she talks about male and female roles within a partnership in a household and how that is gendered and how housework is gendered and various household tasks are gendered. And just because they're gendered doesn't mean that people of any gender can't complete them. And just because a couple might be a same-sex couple, the 2 members of that partnership might still be fulfilling the 2 different gendered roles within the house. Like one of the partners might take on more of what are considered male tasks in the house versus female tasks, and how that differentiation might come about. Like, is it because one of them makes more money, or I don't know. Anyway, so I think that this is a very inclusive book is what I want to say about partnership, and it has given me a lot to think about. I did make a note that I did on occasion feel a little bit talked down to. I think the target audience of this book is somebody who has maybe not thought very deeply about gender and gendered roles. But I did take a few gender studies classes in college, and it's just something that I think and talk a lot about with the people around me. So I feel like I am maybe more well-versed than the average, and this book is definitely meant to be more approachable. I'm holding up a blank white book. Stop it. The book is meant to be probably more approachable to people who have not thought as much about this. One other note that I have written down was that a lot of this was about childcare, child rearing. That's a huge amount of work to rear a child or many children, and that is a job that historically women have to do all of that work, or most of that work. Like even now, maybe they don't have to do all the work, but they still are going to end up doing a lot of the work. And even if once the baby is actually born, both parents try to split all of the additional labor equally, there are still a lot more consequences for a woman's career that will like ripple throughout the rest of her life for every child that she has than a man who is just married to a woman who has a child. You know what I mean? So all of that discussion, very interesting. One specific thing that's mentioned a little bit in the book that does apply in my relationship is that my work and even my school hours are very flexible in that I can work kind of whenever. I don't often have things I need to do at a specific time, whereas my partner Connor has work at these hours all the time. Like that's it, no exceptions, no wiggle room. So because of that, there is an expectation that I'm going to do more of the things that have to happen during the day, or take care of things that come up maybe unexpectedly, or whatever. There's no big issue here, but it's just like because of those difference in schedules, our household expectations for one another are different. And I'm not saying, nor is the author saying that that's specifically bad or specifically good, but it is worth taking note of. So yes, we do have these different work schedules, but I guess the interesting-ish thing is just like the why do we have those, and maybe the reason that we have like stricter or looser schedules and jobs has more to do with gendered socializing than we think about or than we know about. It just comes down to there are gender differences in most child rearing, and those carry throughout your life, and you carry them into your relationships, and you don't have to like obey those instincts that you are just like conditioned to have socially. You can think about them critically, and you can change them as it suits your needs. However you need to, basically. So I am interested now to finally get back to reading this book and get into like what an actual 50-50 partnership looks like. It, again, like there is so much about children in this, which is just not really an issue that is important within my own partnership, but I also think that just reading this book can give you a different point of view on the relationships around you. It definitely had me thinking a lot about my parents, a household relationship, and also that of like some of my other family members. Very interesting. I'm glad I'm reading it. Thank you, Bailey. And I'm glad to be getting back to this vlog. So we're gonna make the drink, and we're gonna do something next week that we've never done before. I can't remember what. I had an idea. Oh well, you'll find out when I find out. I mean, you'll find out when you find out. Hopefully I'll find out before then. All right, I think I'm more than halfway through Equal Partners, and I'm ready to talk about it again. So in this section of the book, she's sort of getting into what equal partners look like. Like, okay, we've talked about how important it is and all the ways that, the average household does not have an equal partner structure. So like what does that look like? So she opens by talking about the spectrum of partnerships, and on one end you have what she's calling the king of the castle, and of course there's a note that we talk about these roles as like the male role, and she's using he him pronouns, but these roles can be fulfilled by anyone of any gender. It does not have to be a different sex couple that has this dynamic, etc. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep using these the same language that she's using. So king of the castle is for your like Don Drapers. He makes the money and that's it. Like he has no involvement with the household. He does his own thing. Like he doesn't help with anything, and he doesn't feel like he should. He feels like his contribution is, his job and financially providing for the family, and like that's it. And that is like maybe more common in the older generations. Then we have the hands-on husband, kind of in the middle of the spectrum, who is more involved, like he's more involved with his kids' lives and with the running of the household, but he's definitely not doing a lot of the actual labor. Like he'll help make decisions, but he's not gonna do a lot towards execution. He's happy to read the kids a bedtime story at night. Oh, he loves, to spend time with his kids, but he's not like wrestling them through their bedtime routine every night. He doesn't consider that like his job. And, if he does some household work on the weekends, it's only because somebody asked him to. And he's doing that, project or that work as more of a favor than just something that like he should just do for the good of the household. And then on the final, the final part of the spectrum is the equal partner, who is equal in all things, shares the cognitive burden of running the household as well as the physical one. What does she say? Okay, I underlined something about the equal partner makes it a priority to be an active noticer of things that need to be doing. So, he will notice when, the dishwasher needs to be run or unloaded, or we're running out of a couple of staples, and he will go to the store and stock up unprompted. He might notice that his closet looks a little thin, so he will do a load of laundry and then set up the ironing board and iron out some shirts, and even maybe ask his spouse if they need anything ironed. It's like a partnership. So yeah, notice there are things that need to be doing. I think that's important. Like nobody has to prompt him or remind him about things that are like a household thing. I thought that was a great way of explaining it. Then I wanted to share a funny statistic. It's not funny, haha. So this is a survey done in the US of different sex couples in this study. I don't know how big the study was, but sorry, I have the book below. Women reported that 29% of household work is either shared equally or the father takes the lead. Whereas men reported that 65% of household work is shared equally or the father takes the lead. So they are thinking they are doing twice as much good, more than twice as much good, towards being equal partners as they actually are. And the researcher elaborates on that and explains that this is so important because you can't drag someone across the finish line if they think the race is already over. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting statistic and a good way, again, of looking at it. Like the men in this study are thinking that they are doing a lot more to help their partner around the house than they actually are. And I doubt that is malicious. I think a lot of them probably just don't realize how much more they could be doing. And again, this had me thinking a lot about examples of all three of these partnerships that I've seen in, the people around me, as well as like in media. Anyway, then she spends a lot of time interviewing equal partners, mostly speaking with the person who inhabits the male role within that partnership, and sort of trying to find out like why and how people end up in an equal partnership, which is pretty interesting. One thing that was brought up in this section was about splitting the workload, splitting the household tasks. Basically, if we're going to be equal partners, that means that there can't be like a manager and an employee kind of a situation. You need to figure out how to be co-managers, and the only way to co-manage is to just split stuff and just to know who's in charge of what, and then that's it. And so in that vein, she's bringing up something from part 1 again, which is that when you're dividing up those tasks, it is important to ask the question of like, am I being assigned this task, or am I assigning this task based on preference, or just because like one of us is good at it and the other one is not? And like, is one of you good at it due to a gendered upbringing? Because all of these household tasks could be learned and performed by anybody. So yeah, I've been reading and enjoying this book, and I do have plans for making our beverage soon. I got almost all the ingredients, but the store was out of mint, so I'm gonna have to go to another store to get the mint to make the drinks. And for our activity, I've been trying to like come up with something really fun. But one thing that I had wanted us to do that we are not doing was go on a bird tour of the canyon that's behind our apartment complex, because the local Audubon Society has like a bunch of birding walks, and some of them are like in far-flung parts of the county, but this one was actually like so close, and it would be really fun to like go on a bird tour through like our backyard basically. So I was amped to do that, but then when I went to sign up, there was only one spot available, so we can't do that, but wouldn't that have been fun? So that's where we're at with the project. I'm gonna keep reading this bad boy. I just spent some time reading this outside, and yesterday I spent a while reading this at the hot tub in my apartments, and that was really nice. And I am nearing the end, so I wanted to share some thoughts again. One of the main, I guess there's two main things I want to talk about. One of them is I just feel so grateful to have a partner who is like amazing. I really like so many of the characteristics, that so many of the things they're describing, like about qualities that a partner can have and how impactful those qualities are, how valuable those are, how how great it can feel to have a partner embody those, I'm like, check, 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 like, yes. Like, that's so true. It is amazing that, you know, I have a partner that I can really talk to and who really listens to me and who can empathize with me and wants to sort of understand my issues, like whatever those might be, and not just, you know, try to fix them, but like help me, you know, work on them or whatever. Like, anyway, I just feel like I'm even more appreciative of everything that Connor is and does than normal. And normally I am extremely appreciative, so we're really reaching new levels of love and adoration here. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about is just to bring it back to the kids thing. Like, so much time is spent talking about children, and I get it. I said it before, I'm saying it again, I get it. That's a huge part of most adult partnerships' lives, and even if, you know, I don't have any children, I certainly know now and will know in the future plenty of other people with children. So all of those lessons and like all of the advice and whatever about children, etc., is still valuable to me in some way, but it just is like a bulk of this to me feels more about being a partner, being in a parenting partnership than just a partnership. And again, like, I know that most adult partnerships do end up being parenting partnerships, but yeah, I just feel like that's something that's huge in this book. I do like in this most recent section that I was just reading the emphasis on parenting and children, in that it was getting into how to like parent all kids the same basically, and how gendered expectations and gendered roles are huge contributors to the inequality of adult partnerships. And so you can start working on raising children that will become equal partners regardless of your children's gender, and how important it is, and especially how important it is to like teach men to be more open about their emotions with their emotions, and to like view women as people and not conquests, etc. Like feminism. But I did like those discussions on like how to interact with, and like there were some guides about how to talk to kids in a way that is like on their level, that can still help them like understand gendered things, understand things in a non-gendered way, I guess is what I mean there. So yeah, that was interesting and good, and you know, yeah, I can apply all of this to any children I may encounter. But yeah, I am almost done with this book, so I'm gonna catch you tomorrow with my final thoughts and feelings. And I know we still have to do a bunch of stuff for this vlog, but don't worry, it's coming. Connor just got home with some mint that I needed so we can make our cocktail, and we're gonna do something fun tomorrow, so it's all happening, okay? Okay. Okay, now act like I just said something really funny. And now like I just said something really insightful.
That is a good idea.
Okay, this morning me and Connor went out for brunch at Kindred, which is a all vegan bar restaurant in San Diego, which I adore. So if you're ever in the area, I do highly recommend. We have been there before for drinks, but that was a long time ago, and we've never been for brunch, and it was so fun. It was delicious, and it was so fun to try some of the things on their new like spring menu, which just dropped. It was honestly almost impossible to read, like a little bit too cool in my opinion, but yeah, it's a really fun place to hang out and chit chat, and we had a great time. So that was our date. And I also finished Equal Partners, Improving Gender Equality at Home. I finished this book and I did really like it. I found the very last section to be especially like a really good wrap up. Honestly, like I was feeling a little bit, it was feeling a little repetitive. But then it really turned around for me right at the very end, and she actually went through a lot of scenarios of like how you can implement, talking about gender and implementing like gendered change or maybe like non-gendered change in various situations. And I really found those sections interesting, and also they provided some helpful examples of like how to react to situations where somebody is perpetuating gendered stereotypes of any kind. So I'm so glad I read this book. Thank you so much for sending it to me, Bailey. I really feel like I did learn a lot and just like work the muscle of my brain and how to talk about these issues with the people around me, which I think is really, really important, but it can feel like so hard to start those conversations. So I feel like there was a lot of good stuff in this book about how to do just that. So yeah, I will be recommending this book in general. I'm glad I read it. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Yeah, and I'm gonna now move forward with my life just a little bit more aware and a little bit more ready maybe to counter some of these gendered stereotypes, etc. around me. That was my neighbor. And we do still have to enjoy our beverage, so I have everything ready to go for that. So I'm just going to probably change out of my cute brunch outfit and into my comfy reading on Saturday outfit, and then make a fun little drink. The syrup looked really good when I made it yesterday, so that's the update. Yay. Okay, so I've got my soda water, SodaStream, please sponsor me, and my syrup. I feel like that's kind of the right amount. And I'm gonna just squeeze in some lime. Again, that's a guesstimation, but it looks beautiful. All right, we just got back from a 3.75 mile walk, and I'm going to have a refreshing raspberry mint mojito without the rum because we don't have any. Yum. Okay, it's not really sweet at all. I'm mostly just getting mint and lime. I think I'm gonna add more raspberry. Maybe I should have stirred my raspberry syrup more. Here she is. Okay, she's more red. Yum, that is so good. Wow, this is so refreshing. I'm gonna make one for Connor, and that's a wrap on this vlog. Let me get Connor's drink reaction. Hold on.
Hello everybody, welcome to Connor's Corner for a taste test of Ruby's beautiful drink. It smells really good. Yeah, the aroma really carries. The raspberries, I think, was in there. It's good. Nice and citrusy, I want to say.
Do you like it? No, you don't. Okay, great. Give it
It's
back.
kind of weird. I feel like that's a syrup that should go on an ice cream.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, not so much in a drink. Or like if you put that syrup inside of like if you put that in a glass of milk, that would make like a really good raspberry milk or something like that.
Okay, there you have it. That's a wrap on Bailey Controls My Vlog. I just remembered I kept back some of the frozen raspberries to put in the drink to be cute, but oh well. Maybe the next one. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. Thank you so much, Bailey, for curating this vlog. I really enjoyed reading that book. It was so nice to have a really good excuse to go on a date that we haven't gone on before. And this is a very fantastic, refreshing summer beverage that I think I'll be enjoying for many months to come with my soda stream. Sponsor me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. If you have not subscribed to Bailey already, it's linked down below. Go check her out. She's the best. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.